I'm very happy to introduce Kim Wallach. Kim has been a musician, songwriter, and poet since the 1970s. I first heard her as one of the Short Sisters with Kate Seeger and Faye Baird many years ago. Since then, she's had a long career as a solo performer, as a member of the Short Sisters and other groups, and as a music teacher in Massachusetts and in New Hampshire, where she now lives. It's been a few years since I've seen her at NEFFA, and I'm very happy to see her again and looking forward to a great concert.
Thanks, Ira. I'd like to thank both of my NEFFA techs, Ira and Catherine, for being here to help facilitate with anything that might come up. I do have the chat open, but you guys aren't allowed to unmute yourselves until the very end. And when I'm done singing, we'll free everybody up and then we can chat for a few minutes, okay? But I'm delighted to see you and thank you so much for coming out at 9 p.m. on Saturday night. Or actually, maybe not coming out. Thank you for staying in. And anyway, welcome to my sunroom. I'm delighted to see you. And here's a song I wrote at this time of year. It turns out 20 years ago. Settle in. Put your feet up on the rail and watch the birds that come to feed. Feel the sun as it burns warm on your cheek, cooled by the breeze from off the hills. You hear the snow melts trickle, the chatter of the finches feels like peace, but there's no peace halfway round. The flip side of the world right now, it's dark and bombs explode. Even if we win this war, there's something we'll have lost and can't regain. We massacred the Indians, enslaved the blacks, drove others from our shores. We haven't changed. My daughter's scared of smallpox and of things she cannot name. What do I say? That we are safe. We live out in the country, but our friends live in the town. You hear the snow melts trickle, the chatter of the finches feels like peace, but there's no peace. Settle in. Put your feet up on the rail and watch the birds that come to feed. Thank you. I can't see all of you because I do not have gallery view. So I'm just kind of scrolling through so I can see your faces. So I'm going to do a little time traveling and sing songs from the entire span of my writing career. So I sing a song I wrote, I finished, or that's still in process this week. And this next song, which is something I wrote, I think in 1977. And if I do say so myself, I think I'm a little prophetic. paranoia. The whole world is out to destroy ya. Even little things annoy ya when you're paranoid. People talking just to bore you. When you answer, they just ignore you. They're always laughing at, not for you, when you're paranoid. Paranoia, paranoia, the whole world is out to destroy ya. Even little things annoy ya when you're paranoid. Traveling always gives you qualms. There's hurricanes, hijackers, fires, and bombs. They always tell you to keep calm, but you're too paranoid. When you stay in at night, lock your windows and doors up tight. Still can't make yourself turn out the light. When you're paranoid, poison in your morning roll, fish bones in your fillet of soul, botulism in your soup bowl. When you're paranoid, sing it with me. Paranoia, paranoia, the whole world is out to destroy ya. Even little things annoy ya when you're paranoid. There's a mugger round each bend. There's an enemy in each friend. Life's a castle to defend when you're paranoid. They're out to get you when you're paranoid. I write a lot of children's songs, most of which I will not do tonight. But this one is also suitable for adults, and I've become really fascinated with writing counting rhymes and counting songs. They're a wonderful way of introducing young children to early math and counting, and then sometimes I get carried away. So this is a math related, but also an Earth Day related song called One Brave Girl, and it counts in a geometric progression, in case you cared. But it also has a chorus. One brave girl of determined mind sat outside with a homemade sign. Another child came along, and together they sang this song. Get together, people, save this earth. We all have to help for this to work. Cool the climate, clean the sea. It's all up to you and me. Two young children on a protest line, feeling hopeful and holding signs. Another two children came along. Together they sang this song. Get together, people, save this earth. We all have to help for this to work. Cool the climate, clean the sea. It's all up to you and me. Four young children on the protest line, wearing smiles and holding signs. Four more children came along. Together they sang this song. Get together, people, save this earth. We all have to help for this to work. Cool the climate, clean the sea. It's all up to you and me. 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, then more and more. Climate strikes spread all over the world. It started with one brave girl. Get together, people, save this earth. We all have to help for this to work. Cool the climate, clean the sea. It's all up to you and me. It's all up to you and me. Thanks. And the strangeness of silent applause. Thank you very much. This is another song I wrote. I actually know where I was when I wrote the song, which isn't always true, but I was in the dining hall at Ashokan, and it might have been the first year that Ashokan was happening or had a Southern Week. And I was trying to work on a song for my parents' anniversary. And this is what I came up with. And I think I sang it at the camper concert that week. So I'll dedicate it both to my parents, but I think I'm also going to send it out to Ernie and Joan Spence, who dance together whenever possible. So this is called the Boardwalk Waltz. My parents, they waltzed on the boardwalk in Asbury Park late one spring, while my sisters and I stood embarrassed, amazed they could do such a thing. And they danced around on the boardwalk as the sunlight danced on the sea. They danced to the tunes of the merry-go-round in front of my sisters and me. Well, sometimes my parents would quarrel and argue and throw things and curse, but they never stopped loving each other. So I guess that it could have been worse. And they danced around on the boardwalk as the sunlight danced on the sea. They danced to the tunes of the merry-go-round in front of my sisters and me. Well, someday perhaps I'll get married to a man with some virtues, some faults, and sometimes we'll laugh, sometimes quarrel, but when we're on a boardwalk, we'll waltz, just like they danced around on the boardwalk as the sunlight danced on the sea. They danced to the tunes of the merry-go-round in front of my sisters and me. Yes, they danced to the tunes of the merry-go-round in front of my sisters and me. Thank you. I am experiencing personal hearing device technical difficulties. My hearing aid was getting pushed off my ear by my glasses. These are like problems you have in your 60s you didn't have when you were younger. Okay. This is also a dance-related song. This is a true story, but not my story. And I really struggle with the ethics of borrowing other people's stories and then writing songs about them. But I really did try to give this person a happy ending, and I really hoped that they would have a happy ending, but I'm not sure they did. But it's not too late yet. So. This also has a chorus. The chorus is a little slippery and changes the first couple of times, but then it settles in. So we met on the veranda, watched the sunset o'er the bay. Then he asked me for a tango, and we danced the night away. He had eyes just like brown velvet. He had skin like satin sheets. And as we danced there to the music, his hips swayed with the conga beat. Courted by a Venezuelan, while the sea was at low tide, we talked of how we'd go a-sailing across the ocean deep and wide. We talked of pasts and presents, about our jobs and families. He had a ranch with many servants and parrots roosting in the trees. He said, come live in Venezuela, have my children be my wife, be the mistress of my villa and the pleasure of my life. Courted by a Venezuelan, making plans to be his bride. Tickets bought to go a-sailing across the ocean deep and wide. Well, he returned to Venezuela, wrote me letters every day, said things were ready at the villa, and he would meet me on the quay. So I packed up my belongings and I shipped them ocean freight. Then I received a telegram, and it only told me wait. Jilted by a Venezuelan, now I'll never be his bride, and I'll never go a-sailing across the ocean deep and wide. He wrote his mother had objected, although he'd begged her on his knees, said I should find another sweetheart and someday forgive him, please. Well, I can find another sweetheart if I want one bad enough, but I've sublet my apartment and I've shipped off all my stuff. Jilted by a Venezuelan, now I'll never be his bride, and I'll never go a-sailing across the ocean deep and wide. I expected to feel angry, but instead I felt relieved. Well, I'd been hoping for a hero, so I was easily deceived. Still, I've come to some conclusions while staring at my empty shelves. Instead of waiting to be rescued, we could be rescuing ourselves. Jilted by a Venezuelan, so I'll never be his bride. I still can go sailing, cross the ocean deep and wide. One more time. Jilted by a Venezuelan, so I'll never be his bride. I still can go sailing, cross the ocean deep and wide. There we go. Thank you. All right, banjo time. Okay. One of the first years that I headed out on tour, I was driving through North Carolina and I was looking, it was just acres of pine trees on both sides of the highway. And I thought, it's a little spooky. I thought, I wonder what happened here. And this is the song that came into my head. So I almost felt like I was receiving somebody else's story, that the story had been hanging out in the pines, waiting for somebody to ask that question, what happened here, and give me the answer. So. My love and I first met when we were only 9. We played catch and hide and seek in the tall, tall Carolina pines. Like coffee was his skin, his eyes were dark and fine, needles in his curly hair from the tall, tall Carolina pines. At 16 I was told, stick to your own kind and stay away from the brown-skinned boy and the tall, tall Carolina pines. But we met every day near the old tobacco sign. We chew grass until our dreams neath the tall, tall Carolina pines. The wind still blows in the trees, sun and the moon still shine, and white men still lynch innocent men in the tall, tall Carolina pines. They tore him from my arms and With their rope of twine, they hanged him from the strongest branch of the tall Carolina pines. Well, I left for Detroit. I took only what was mine, and I never will go back again to the tall Carolina pines. Now it's been 60 years, but as I write these lines, I see him hanging once again from the tall Carolina pines. So last summer, when we were having a drought and California was on fire, and George Floyd had just been killed, and we were looking at all of the lying and craziness around the elections, I wrote this song. I am parched. I am thirsty for the truth. My hopes and dreams are dying. We need rain. I am done. I've had enough of this injustice. Enough of all this lying. We need rain. So let it rain, truth. Let it rain, justice. Let it rain, compassion. Let it rain. Let it rain, mercy. Let it rain, kindness. Let it rain, understanding. Let it rain. I am tired of living in fear of racist hate and violence. We need rain. We want more. We want honor and respect. We want honesty and safety. We need rain. Let it rain, truth. Let it rain, justice. Let it rain, compassion. Let it rain. Let it rain, mercy. Let it rain, kindness. Let it rain, understanding. Let it rain. I am scared. The western hills are burning. Our homes are all on fire. We need rain. End the hate. This awful conflagration. Save the future for our children. We need rain. Let it rain, truth. Let it rain, justice. Let it rain, compassion. Let it rain. Let it rain, mercy. Let it rain, kindness. Let it rain, understanding. Let it rain. Thanks. Thanks for singing along. All right, I wanted to do a sort of a little Texas set. Let's see how far I get with this. but this is a version of Barbary Allen that I learned from the singing of Art Theme, who was just a wonderful song finder, collector, and also joke teller. um, I think I'll do it here. So this is a cowboy version of Barbary Allen. And here we go. Near Medicine Bow, where I was born, there was a fair maid dwellin', made all the boys ride saddle sore, and her name was Barbary Allen. Oh, her name was Barbary Allen. 'Twas in the merry month of May, green buds they were swellin'. Billy came to the western range, come a-courtin' Barbary Allen, come a-courtin' Barbary Allen. It was in the merry month of June, green leaves they were bloomin'. Billy on his deathbed lay, just for courtin' Barbary Allen, just for courtin' Barbary Allen. He sent a message out to her, to the place where she was dug in. Come and see young Billy quick, for I fear that he is dying. Oh, I fear that he is dying. Well, slowly, slowly she got up. Slowly she went to him, and when she pulled the blanket back, said, Bill, I guess you're dying. Oh, Bill, I guess you're dying. Oh, yes, I'm sick, I'm very sick. I never will get better unless I get the love of you, the love of Barbary Allen. Oh, the love of Barbary Allen. As she went walking through the brush, she heard the cattle moaning, and every moan they seemed to say, hard-hearted Barbary Allen, hard-hearted Barbary Allen. Oh, mother, mother, make my bed, make it soft and narrow. Young Billy died for me today, I'll die for him tomorrow, gonna die for him tomorrow. And Father, Father, dig my grave, dig it deep and narrow. Billy died for me today, I'll die for him tomorrow. Oh, I'll die for him tomorrow. We buried her in the old churchyard. Bill, his grave was nigh her, and from his grave grew a red, red rose. From hers grew a briar. Oh, from hers grew a briar. They grew and grew, and they tangled round the marker rocks. They couldn't grow no higher, and there they tied a true love knot, the rose and the thorny briar. Oh, the rose and the thorny briar. Barbary Allen. And I'm going to attempt a song by the late, great Chuck Pyle. I first heard Chuck, and I only heard Chuck at the Kerrville Folk Festival. And he was from Boulder, Colorado. And he was a magical guitar player. Nobody I've ever heard before or since plays guitar the way that Chuck Pyle played the guitar. And I wish I could duplicate it here, but I can't. But he wrote a lot of wonderful, more Western sounding songs, but This one called Gypsy Minor is the one that really caught my imagination. So I'm going to try to do it justice now. A certain flicker of light in her eyes, certain figure she'd improvise, how she'd make it cry and moan. Only a gypsy could get that tone. And at an auction in old Berlin, she paid a trifle for the violin. Soon forgotten, it was laid aside, till there came a full moon night. Then out of someone else's past, music is exploding inside her. Filled with joy, afraid it would not last, she raced to play a Gypsy Minor. Wood lives by the light of the moon, lose her spirit to an ancient tune, watches while her fingers dance. She lives a night on the caravans, then out of someone else's past, music is exploding inside her. Filled with joy, afraid it would not last, she raced to play a Gypsy Minor. Helplessly she looks on, while her fingers play the song, so completely beyond her control. She puts down the violin, shudders like a cold wind had just been blowing through her soul. So when the full moon is on the rise, certain figure she'll improvise, watches while her fingers play a gypsy jump or mandolay. Then out of someone else's past, music is exploding inside her. Filled with joy, afraid it would not last, she raced to play a Gypsy Minor. Helplessly she looks on, while her fingers play the song, so completely beyond her control. She puts down the violin, shudders like a cold wind had just been blowing through her soul. This was written for a singer who was one of my idols when I was a teenager. my best friend's father used to travel a lot for business. And on one trip, he brought us both back bootleg records from Taiwan. And so this singer was on one. So first I'll do my song for him, and then I'll do one of his songs. An umbrella hangs from the brass chandelier. The band plays so loud that it hurts your ears, and the cowboy is nursing his whiskey and beer, and I wish he was dancing with me. Well, he tilts his chair back so far he might fall, chews his tobacco and leans on the wall, and he looks like he wishes he weren't here at all, and I wish he was dancing with me. When I was a teenager, he was the best singer of songs about the Old West, and I knew all of his songs by heart, and I still remember the harmony parts. And he sang about drinking in smoky saloons and dancing all night to those 3/4 tunes. Oh, there's a band and a bar and a 3/4 moon, and I wish he was dancing with me. I try to tell myself this is your chance. Just get up and go over and ask him to dance, or sit down and talk for a half hour or so. The worst he could answer is no. Oh, the umbrella's gone from the brass chandelier. The band is packed up and gone home with their gear, and the cowboy has finished and paid for his beer, and he's left without dancing with me. Oh, he's left without dancing with me. Thanks. So I will say that even though he is a Canadian singer and writer, the one time I ever got within 20 feet of him was in Texas at Kerrville, where he was judging the songwriting contest, and I was hanging around backstage because I got to play the children's stage there, but not the main stage. Um, so I was watching him, and he was. I actually set the song in the YO Ranch Hilton in Kerrville, Texas, which is a remarkable hotel if you ever get to go there. But but it was actually happening backstage, and I kept thinking, I should just go say something, anything at all. And I simply couldn't do it. And in a way, I was kind of relieved because I'm sure whatever I said would have been really stupid. So, as is the way when you're so overwhelmed with meeting somebody. Okay. But I've always loved this song of his. For strong winds that blow lonely, 7 seas that run high, all those things that don't change, come what may. Still I wish you'd change your mind if I asked you one more time. But we've been through that 100 times or more. Think I'll go out to Alberta. Weather's good there in the fall. I got some friends that I can go working for. Still I wish you'd change your mind if I asked you one more time. But we've been through that 100 times or more. For strong winds that blow lonely, 7 seas that run high, all those things that don't change, come what may. Still I wish you'd change your mind if I asked you one more time. But we've been through that 100 times or more. If I get there before the snow flies, and if things are going good, you could meet me if I sent you down the fair. But by then it would be winter, not too much for you to do. And those winds sure can blow cold way out there. For strong winds that blow lonely, 7 seas that run high, all those things that don't change, come what may. But our good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. I'll look for you if I'm ever back this way. So yes, that's by Ian Tyson, and Ian Tyson was my folky crush. So I'm gonna wind up with three kind of interrelated, well, not really, but 3 very recent songs that have come out of the pandemic. And the first is just a silly parody. In the land where I was born, spread a virus from overseas, so we mask and stay apart till we vanquish this disease. We all live in an endless quarantine, an endless quarantine, an endless quarantine. We all live in an endless quarantine, an endless quarantine, an endless quarantine. And our friends are scared and bored, lost their jobs and now they're poor. wish the band could sing and play. Oh, give me the link, the link, the link. Oh, send me the link to get the link and all. We all live in an endless quarantine, an endless quarantine, an endless quarantine. We all live in an endless quarantine, an endless quarantine, an endless quarantine. So we chat and sing on Zoom, each from our own living room. And we wait for the vaccine and endure this quarantine. We all live in an endless quarantine, an endless quarantine, an endless quarantine. We all live in an endless quarantine, an endless quarantine, an endless quarantine. All right, so that's that. And this is just a little song about spending time on Zoom. That's it, I said, and drained my cup. The sun was gone when I looked up. I asked myself in the deepening gloom, did I spend the whole day on Zoom? A camp reunion, a ballad sing, a workshop on telling stories with string, and one on weaving with a backstrap loom. I spent the whole day on Zoom. My dog has given up on me, my eyes glued to the computer screen, ignoring signs of impending doom. I spent another day on Zoom. When this pandemic is over, will there be things that we miss? Will we say, how about next Saturday? We hop on Zoom and reminisce. I need to pee, I need to eat, to pry myself up off my seat. I have to go, I'll see you soon. We'll spend another day on Zoom. Thank you. All right, I'm going to do one more song, and then we're going to allow you to unmute so that we can chat and hang out for a little bit, because there's nothing on in this room after us. So if you feel like it, hang on, and we'll hang out. So this last one is almost exactly a year ago. I started noticing bird calls way more than I ever had. I think partly because it was so much quieter, because there weren't as many cars on the road, and there weren't airplanes in the sky because everything had ground to a halt. And I probably owe the birth of this song to Tom Dockeray and the Copenhagen songwriting group. But this is what came out of that. So thanks again. Thanks to my NEFFA techs, Ira and Catherine, and thanks to everybody who took the time to come and hang out with me tonight. I'm really so appreciative. Thank you. Okay, here we go. With my dog, a morning promenade, I caught a lovely serenade. 100 voices there I heard, but in the tree was just one bird. As many changing tuneful glories as Scheherazade had stories, each of them enthralls, enchants. I want to sing along and dance. Mockingbird Serenade, extravagant variety of ever-changing melody, a song performed for only me. Mockingbird Serenade. a breast of white, a back of gray, singing to wake up the day, hidden in a giant spruce. He sets his vocal genius loose. Chirp and chatter, warble, trill, red-winged blackbird, oriole, whistling cardinal, cooing dove, ringing cell phone from above, mockingbird serenade, extravagant variety of ever-changing melody, a song performed for only me, mockingbird serenade. Everybody's songs were his, finch and sparrow, chickadee, missing voices sing to me, filling me with bliss. The borrowed repertoire employed infused me with exuberant joy. The rambling caroling that made this ecstatic serenade, mockingbird serenade, extravagant variety of ever-changing melody, a song performed for only me, mockingbird serenade. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim, for a wonderful concert. So we're now going to allow everyone to unmute and people can chat if they want.
That would be so great.
And I'm going to take off the spotlight so whoever's
So we can see
Okay, I'm unmuted, Pat.
talking can be seen.
gallery view.
But you can also go to gallery view and see everybody, or you can pin somebody if you want to.
Yeah, I see so many friends here.
Oh, me too. And from all over the place.
Deborah,
This is
Rich.
so cool. Hi, guys.
Hi, Carol.
It was great.
That's wonderful. I loved hearing your older songs. I was singing along.
Oh, good.
Ah,
I wish I could have heard you.
Don't we all?
That's the thing I miss more than
yeah,
anything, is being
yeah.
able to hear you guys sing along.
It was really great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joni.
Oh, it's brilliant. Just brilliant. Me and Neil.
Yeah, hi
Hi.
there.
Hello.
Yeah, a lot of you know each other.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
It's just like NEFFA.
Yeah, bumping into
Right? I
people.
believe it is NEFFA.
Now,
If
of course,
we
I
could
won't
all
have
be
to
in the-
come next time.
There's no cake. No
I-
chocolate cake.
No cake. Soon there will be cake.
Then there will be
Yeah.
cake.
Leftover cake.
Yes, there will be cake and there will be dancing and there will be singing and inside in
Oh.
close quarters and harmony that shakes the rafters. Soon,
And
we'll see all
cannolis.
those things again.
Don't forget the gluten-free cannolis.
And gluten-free cannolis.
Whatever we need, it'll be there.
Yeah,
Indeed. Indeed.
it will. I see Morris dancing at dawn behind Sarah.